Donald Trump was born on June 14th, 1946. That means he's a Gemini. And as a Gemini myself, I can tell you a lot about our inner workings and overall qualities. This presentation may be of benefit to those trying to understand and or negotiate or otherwise interact with Mr. Trump, especially if they are business savvy or utilize astrology and numerology to their advantage. As a Gemini, Trump likes to look and feel young, and for a man his age, he's using the best anti-aging and skin creams money can buy. 1946 plus 6 plus 14 is 1966. Then you add that together, 1 plus 9 plus 6 plus 6, and you get the numerology life path number, in this case 22, which is further reduced to a single digit, 1 to 9. 4 is the builder in numerology, and 22 is special in that it's the master builder. I'm a Gemini 5 Hierophant or priest, and my father was an Aquarius 22-4 Fool Emperor, so I think I can tell you a lot about Donald Trump, being that I am a Gemini and have lived around the 22-4 archetype, albeit as an Aquarius. Unfortunately, most numerologists don't combine their work with tarot archetypes. Generally speaking, astrology, numerology, tarot, I Ching, and potentially other oracles all go together and work together quite well. If you're skeptical, keep in mind most horoscopes are too generalized to be accurate. They are not properly calibrated to your birth time and birth location, and yet they often still have value. If you really want to get serious, then you need a full professional astrological report detailing not just the sun sign, but also the moon sign and every other house zodiac combination as it applies to different aspects of one's life. A comprehensive numerology report will also be of value. There are I think 100 numbers in numerology. In addition to life path, the most important number, there are 3 others that are really important: the destiny number, soul urge, and personality numbers. Please conduct your own study about numerology to learn more about these. There was a big book called the Tarot Handbook by Angelis Ariane that was created as a comprehensive guide to the Crowley-Thoth Tarot. I had this book back when I was 13 in the 90s and became a master at utilizing its method. It looks at the tarot card archetypes not just as divination or a card game, but as archetypes and professional trait, having many pages of commentary on each card. And these traits are permanent attributes of numerology. So, being a numerology life path 422, Donald Trump is a Gemini Fool Emperor. 22 is the personality symbol, which is both 0 and 22, the Fool. 2 plus 2 equals 4, and 2 minus 2 equals 0. This is the only time in numerology where we subtract rather than add, because otherwise tarot card 0, the Fool, would not be utilized by any of the 9 life paths. So the Fool is both 0 and 22. As a 22 master builder, Donald Trump has a grand vision, a grand and powerful design that is often original. But as 22 is also 0 the Fool, there is always the chance that his grand vision turns into a foolish and stupid clown show. The Fool represents fearlessness and reckless courage, leading him and all who follow him, in this case the economy, to fall into a pit. So again, whether Trump gets 22 Master Builder Grand Design or 0 the Fool is always a toss-up, something that can go either way. As the 4 Emperor, Trump is a natural king and father figure, as the Emperor denotes the highest aptitude for both. He's a natural king, and as have many said about Trump, Daddy is coming home. But Daddy is a Fool Emperor, and not always the mature, get-it-done champion who you can trust to make everything better. As an Emperor, he is also a natural king and or dictator, so it's no surprise if he acts like one, embodies those characteristics, or creates this impression. In addition to 22-4, there is also the 13, 1 plus 3 equals 4, which is the Death Emperor. Trump is a Fool Emperor, so this is not relevant to our discussion, but the Death Tarot is about radical and complete transformation that involves complete death and rebirth in some way. Like, it might even come up when moving to a new house, because the old is completely gone, the new is completely here, and there's no going back. Although if one is moving, you'd probably get the Chariot card in a tarot reading, which denotes travel. As a 4 Emperor, Trump has the other 4s in the minor arcana as permanent psychological gifts and or challenges. These are what they are. In my case, being a life path 5, I have the 4 5s, which are all bad. Fear of defeat, emotional disappointment, strife, and worry. For Mr. Trump, his physical earth attribute is power, the 4 of discs. His creative or spiritual nature is completion, the 4 of wands. His emotional nature is luxury, the 4 of cups, and his intellectual nature is truce or rest after conflict, the 4 of swords. I'm not going to talk forever about these attributes. Instead, they will appear as images throughout the video. Feel free to pause and read or do your own research. Discs are earth element and have to do with finances, health, and one's physical nature. Wands are spiritual and creative and describe the energetic state of one's dealing with others. Cups are emotional and has to do with romance, friendships, and intoxication. Swords are intellectual and applies to one's conflicts or intellectual dealings with others. For instance, as a 4 of swords truce, Trump's conflicts with other world leaders tends to lead to a draw, and Trump himself gets exhausted and requires rest, and there is often a final resolution that results in a truce. Whereas my 5 of swords, fear of defeat, describes an entirely different nature, a person who only fights battles he knows he can win and may cheat or take every precaution to avoid defeat. So if you will consider these 6 tarot cards, the numerology info for Life Path 4, 22, the Master Builder, the Fool, and the overall astrology of Gemini, then you will understand many things about the deep nature and inner workings of Donald Trump. Whether this info is useful or not is another story, but many professionals in the world of business or even world leaders may want to consider what the oracles have to say. Of the 0, the Fool. Also, the name Donald in Gaelic etymology means world ruler. Trump is certainly acting like the king of the world. He's throwing his weight around to test the waters, but as a Gemini, you should not take this too seriously. Cut him a bit of slack. The original Gemini twins from Babylon were described as the great king and the one who goes into the underworld. For my own part, the one who goes into the underworld is the occultist version of me, and the great king is the public figure and the one who manages one's life. These actually have a rich history having to do with death and reincarnation and defeating the lords of death. Remus and Romulus, or in Maya mythology, Hunahpu and Xbalanque, are the famous hero twins who journey to the underworld, Xibalba, and outwit the lords of death. Their story is recounted in the Popol Vuh, a sacred game in Xibalba, a sacred text of the Kichi Maya people. The twins are born from their father's head after he is killed in a ball game in Xibalba. They become skilled ball players and, like their father, are invited to play in Xibalba, where they cleverly deceive the lords of death and emerge victorious. Gemini are eternal children in some form. We're clever, we're crafty, we're blunt, we play games, we blend in like chameleons, and we like to play both sides. My best friend for nearly 20 years was a Gemini, and he lied and stole from me and ultimately betrayed me. We make good double agents and secret agents. Without strong moral grounding, such as faith and awareness of karma, Geminis should not easily be trusted. So if you're a lawyer or a businessman or a world leader looking to negotiate with Donald Trump, keep in mind he probably tries to think outside the box and do something original. My advice to you is to be a little off the wall yourself. Be strong, impressive, and be aware that he likes to play games. He may be 78, but he ain't no old man. He's going to mess around. He's going to try this and that to see what works. He's going to have a sense of childlike innocence and an overall lack of sophistication.